Black History Month has been more rewarding for me this year than any other year in my life. I truly am proud to be Black.
It's time to exhale and be motivated. Annie's Blue Couch. Yeah.
Hello, everyone, to all of you, Annie's crew. Welcome back to the Blue, Annie's Blue Couch. Thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with me today. Now, before we get into today's conversation, I want to remind you of a few things. First of all, please hit the subscribe button. Then do me a huge favor and hit that like button as well. Make sure to leave me a comment. And of course, my biggest favor that I'm asking you, share this video with at least 2 of your friends. Now let's get right into today's deep dive. As we close out Black History Month, I want to celebrate a woman whose unwavering strength and determination really paved the way for other African Americans. African American women especially. Women are consistently told what they can and can't do. And I guess let's be fair, men have their fair share of expectations. But I think that the expectations of men don't necessarily have the same limitations as those of women. And by that I mean oftentimes men are spoken to from the perspective of do's, and women, on the other hand, are spoken to from the perspective of don'ts. Women don't vote. Women don't speak. Women don't do this, don't do that. Do you know that just 100 years ago, if a woman was married, she couldn't have her own passport? Even with all the changes in American law regarding women, Black women in particular, still struggle to rise above the lowest point on the totem pole in many organizations today. And many women like the one of today's deep dive continue to pave the way for Black women to be seen as important, powerful, educated, and able to create positive impact in our world. Today's deep dive is on Miss Shirley Anita St. Hill Chisholm. Shirley was born in Brooklyn, New York on November 30th, 1924. She was the oldest of 4 girls to her immigrant parents, Charles St. Hill, who was a factory worker from Guyana, and Ruby St. Hill, a seamstress from Barbados. Shirley was a really smart girl and graduated both high school and college with honors. She participated in her school's debate teams and was recognized for her effective debating skills, receiving several prizes along the way. Her debating skills would certainly come into play later on. She knew she was smart. She never doubted her abilities, but she was definitely not in denial about what she referred to as her double handicap: being female and being Black. Always being aware of racial and gender inequalities, she joined several groups to help make an impact. She joined the League of Women Voters. She also joined the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, the NAACP, the Urban League, and also the Democratic Party Club in Brooklyn. She was passionate about several issues: unemployment benefits for domestic workers, food and nutrition programs for the poor, and education initiatives, to name a few. Now, when Brooklyn became the 12th congressional district, she decided she was going to get into Congress. It's been said she used to drive through neighborhoods announcing, "This is Fighting Shirley Chisholm coming through." She was bold. She had a fire. She defeated 3 candidates in the primary election, then went on to defeat James Farmer in the general election. He was a very well-known civil rights activist at the time, so that was a big win for her. In 1968, she became the first Black American woman elected to Congress. She served 7 terms in this position from 1969 to 1983. Now, in 1972, she became the first African American candidate for a major party's nomination for President of the United States. She was the first woman to run for the Democratic Party's presidential nomination. Let me stick up in here and say that there was another African American woman, Charlene Mitchell, who in 1968 was the first African American presidential candidate ever. She entered the race on the Communist Party, but her name appeared on the ballot in only 2 states. Charlene was also fighting racial and economic injustices. I had to put her name out there because I want to make sure on Annie's Blue Couch I give all my sisters their props. After Charlene Mitchell and after Shirley Chisholm, there were other African American women that ran for president. Margaret Wright, Isabel Masters, Lenora Fulani, also Monica Moorhead. Okay, so back to Shirley. Of course, you can imagine her running for president didn't come without discrimination. Can you imagine she was blocked from participating in televised primary debates? We ain't want no black woman on TV. She did take legal action, but that only got her to make 1 speech. Even with all that, she was able to garner 152 of the delegates' votes. That's about 10% of the total. Students, women, minorities, they all supported her. Again, another huge win for her, given all the circumstances. Now, in 1983, she retired from Congress and became a professor at Mount Holyoke College in Massachusetts. I could just imagine what that class was like. In 1984, she co-founded the National Political Congress of Black Women alongside another amazing Black woman, Cynthia Dolores Tucker. And in 1993, President Bill Clinton nominated her to become U.S. Ambassador to Jamaica. But due to her health issues, she had to decline. But that same year, she was inducted into the National Women's Hall of Fame. Before Shirley Chisholm died, January 1st, 2005, she said, "I want to be remembered as a woman who dared to be a catalyst of change." And that she certainly was. I have to take a moment right here. I know I mentioned her before, but considering the topic, I just want to celebrate once again the Vice President of the United States, Mrs. Kamala Harris. Black History Month has been more rewarding for me this year than any other year in my life. I truly am proud to be Black. So proud of my people and the very many accomplishments I had the pleasure of deep diving into this month and sharing with you. I hope I've been able to inspire you to do some deep diving of your own. And if you're not African American and have been tuned in for this entire series, I hope even you were inspired to maybe do some deep diving of your own culture and your own history. We are all God's creation. I truly believe that He masterfully made each and every single individual that has ever walked the face of the earth. There's no race that is superior. There is no culture that is the best. There is no person, no one that is greater, more special, more important than the other. I believe that it's God's intention for each and every one of us to be impactful and to give glory back to Him in every aspect of our lives. We all have a purpose to fulfill, and no one's purpose is greater or smaller than someone else's. Next week, we'll be getting into some new content that I can't wait to share with you all, and Funny Fridays are coming back. So make sure to hit the subscribe button, turn on your notification bell so that you know when I drop the next video. And don't forget to leave me a comment down below letting me know that you were here with me today. I love chatting with you all in the comments. Until next time, remember, you are beautiful, you are special, your smile is amazing, and don't let anyone or anything ever make you feel less than who and what God has designed you to be. Annie's crew, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. Bye for now.
Annie's Blue Couch.